Good morning class, Sairam. Today we are going to start with our topic expression for induced EMF based on both the laws. That is, both the law means we have to study about Faraday's both law. Okay, like in previous slide you can see we have already covered this topic that Faraday gave two laws. This was the first law. Here you can see, and then we have second law. So we have to study now that how can we produce EMF. So for that we have formula E equal to minus d phi by dt according to the Faraday's second law, and this formula can also be written as d phi means what, that is phi 2 minus phi 1. That's why we can write this also, that is minus times of phi 2 minus phi 1 upon t. And for n turns of a coil we can multiply simply by n, because for each coil, for each turn, EMF induced is given by following expression. Now how current is given? We know that current equal to voltage upon resistance, or E by R. So if you will divide by resistance on both sides, you will get this formula. Or here also you can write that in the first expression 1 by R times d phi by dt. So next thing is that what is the expression for charge? Expression for charge is dq upon dt equal to this much, because current is basically written in the form dq by dt. This dt will be multiplied to the right side, and that dt to dt will be cancelled out. So d phi upon R is the formula for charge. In the next topic we have to learn how we can produce EMF. Actually we have three methods. Number one, by changing the magnetic flux. As we know that EMF is given by changing its flux with respect to time, so this phi can be changed, or this phi can be expressed in this way also, B A cos theta. If we want to get change in phi, then either we have to change magnetic field or area or theta. So the first topic it is saying by changing the magnetic field. Okay, so magnetic flux phi can be changed by changing the magnetic field, and hence EMF can be produced in the circuit as done by Faraday's experiment. Second method, it is saying that if you will change the area A of the coil available in the magnetic field. So how you will change the area? Actually what you do, we have a particular rod, say P to S, a metallic rod, or here it is QR, and this rod is basically moving with some velocity V towards left. Okay, as soon as this rod will enter to the magnetic field and this rod will keep on moving towards left, then we will see that this particular area will keep on decreasing. As soon as rod will move again towards P dash S dash toward this side, then the area will again decrease, keep on decreasing. Okay, so in this way you can produce EMF in the given circuit. Now for that what we have, d phi by dt equal to, or d phi equal to B dot dA. Okay, and this dA is basically what? This is area, that is length into displacement, or you can say length into breadth. So d phi by dt will be how much? That will be B into L dx by dt, and this will convert to velocity. Okay, so our expression for EMF will come out E equal to B L into V. Okay, the induced EMF is due to motion of the loop, and so it is called motional EMF. Now if we want to see the direction of the induced current, then according to Lenz law, the direction of induced current is such that it opposes the cause of the changing magnetic flux. So here we can see that basically when your rod P dash S dash or this metal rod will move into the plane, then it will see that magnetic flux or total magnetic field amount of these magnetic field line, this is decreasing. Okay, total flux is decreasing. So current will flow in clockwise direction like this way, so that it will increase the amount of magnetic field into the plane of paper. Okay, so this is the way how we get direction of the current. Okay, so here we will have two things. First, if your rod is moving to the left, then direction will be clockwise, and if your rod is moving towards right, then direction of the current will be anti-clockwise. Here it is considering the case of motion of the rod towards right, and we can say that if rod will move towards right. Okay, this is the second process. In the first process, what we have, rod is moving towards right, so this area will increase. As you can see here also, the cause of changing of the magnetic flux is due to motion of the loop and increase in the area. Okay, area is increasing. So here you can see now, if your area will increase, that means rod is definitely moving towards right, then magnetic field is basically increasing, or not magnetic field, actually magnetic flux is increasing into the plane of paper. So coil will have anti-clockwise direction current, so that some amount of magnetic field can be produced out of the plane of paper, so that it can oppose the change. That's why direction will be shown as anti-clockwise. Next we will have, against this force, mechanical work is done, which is converted into electrical energy. So in this point it is saying that how this rod will move, actually we have to do some mechanical work. Okay, suppose if rod is moving towards right hand side, then one force that is ILB will be produced in the rod. This is magnetic force and this is towards left, and some amount of mechanical work you have to do against this force, okay, to keep your rod moving with constant velocity. Then we have Fleming's right hand rule also to identify direction of induced current. And according to this rule, if the center finger, forefinger and thumb, means this is your forefinger, then thumb and center finger, okay, they are stretched mutually perpendicular to each other, means each finger has 90-degree angle with respect to each other, and the forefinger points to the magnetic field. The first forefinger is magnetic field, thumb will point in the direction of motion or force, okay, and then central finger points to the direction of the induced current. Okay, this center finger will tell you the direction of the induced current. The second method to get induced EMF is by changing the orientation of the coil, okay, theta in the magnetic field. For that, what we have, like we will have a coil in which we will have magnetic field, and that coil will keep on rotating, okay, and it will rotate like this way. Suppose this omega you can see, and this is axis of rotation, this dotted line, and your coil is rotating actually in clockwise direction. If you will observe it from top, then you will see that it is moving in clockwise direction, okay. In that case, it is saying that magnetic flux can be given by following formula, that phi equal to NBA cos theta and theta equal to omega t. We know this is angular displacement, this is angular velocity, and this is time. So displacement equal to velocity into time. And to get EMF we have to differentiate this equation, and if you will differentiate it you will get d phi by dt equal to minus nba omega sin omega t, because differentiation of cos omega t is sin omega t and differentiation of omega t is omega only. So that's why you are getting this form equal to nba omega sin omega t. If your sin omega t is maximum, that is 1, then nba omega is maximum value of EMF. So that's why it is mentioned as E naught, and we got this expression E equal to E naught sin omega t, where E naught is the maximum EMF, its value is nba omega, where n will be your number of turn, okay, in the coil, B is the magnetic field, that is this external magnetic field, and then here this A you can say area of the loop, and omega is the rotational velocity or velocity of rotation. Next you can see, if you are asked to plot a graph for E versus T, then to plot a graph you should have equation first. Equation is n equal to nba omega sin omega t, and this equation will be given by this graph, or actually this graph is of sin theta, and you know sin theta is plotted like this, okay, at pi by 2 or t by 4 it gives you maximum value, at pi or t by 2 it gives you 0, sin 180 is 0. We can say that this EMF keeps on changing continuously in magnitude and periodically in direction with respect to time. So it gives rise to the alternating EMF. Alternating is that EMF which is keep changing with time in both directions. Now the second graph is also plotted over here, but that is not that much important, because it is saying that if your coil is not initially at theta equal to 0, suppose it is at pi by 2 angle, initial phase is this much, then this graph will convert it into cos theta. So that is easy for us to understand. And one more thing, it is saying that this method of induced EMF is the basic principle of generators. Now next topic we have, that is eddy current or focal current. What is the eddy current actually? The induced circulating current produced in a solid metal due to a change in magnetic field or flux in the metal are called eddy current. It means to say, if your magnetic field B, which is denoted by these arrows, if this magnetic field B is changing associated with any given metal plate, like you can say that this is your metal plate actually, and if this related to this plate, this magnetic flux is changing, then some amount of current is generated on the surface of this body, okay, and direction of those current is like eddy formation in water. So these circulating current are formed, as you can see here, okay, these are called eddy current. So what are the application of eddy current? Eddy current are used in induction furnace, okay, like for that we use iron or etc. And in speedometer, eddy current are used to measure the instantaneous speed of vehicle. Then we have dead beat galvanometer, and after that electric brakes of the train, eddy current are produced, okay, in magnetic braking eddy current are produced. Then we have next topic, that is self induction. Self induction is what? Basically it is the phenomena of inducing EMF in the self coil due to change in the current, and hence the change in the magnetic flux in the coil. So the induced EMF oppose the growth of decay of current in the coil, and hence delays the current to acquire the maximum values. So what is the self induction? Basically, suppose if there is a coil, and this coil is connected with any power source, okay, and if you want to change, or suppose if you switch on the key and at the same time one current will flow in the circuit from 0 to I. Okay, as soon as this current will try to flow, there will be some magnetic field will be produced inside this coil. Okay, and this coil will try to oppose that change in the magnetic flux. So this coil will create its own magnetic field in the opposite direction. For that, this coil has to induce one current in such a way that it can oppose this magnetic field. Basically, if your current is rising, then induced current will have direction opposite to that of primary current. Okay, so here you can understand that self-induction is also called inertia of electricity, as it opposes the growth or decay of the current. Okay, in the next lecture we will try to understand how we can determine self-induction coefficient of any given solenoid. Okay, and after that we will have a calculation of self-inductance coefficient of any circular coil also. Till then you can note it down all these important points in your fair notebook, and you can revise all the concepts. Okay, thank you. Sai Ram.